Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the flyest vlogger on the planet. My name is Showtime the Czar. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a great, positive, productive day as always. You know I got hip hop news, cultural updates, and everything like that for you guys today. But before we do any and all that, you know what you got to do. See that subscribe button on your screen right there. I need you to click that, turn that bell icon on so each and every time one of my videos drop, the content that I'm providing to you, you don't miss it. Let's get into it, y'all. Drop my intro. All right, YouTube. So to start this episode off, man, I wanted to bring in Lori Mack out the gate just because she does have a son, and I feel like, you know, since it's a conversation about kids, she's the perfect person to talk to. What am I talking about? All right, Snoop Dogg is going viral right now for his opinion on the Buzz Lightyear movie that came out a couple years ago, and he said he took his grandson to go see it. And there's a part in there, as we all know, about the lady having a daughter with another lady, basically a lesbian scene in the movie. You don't see them doing no kissing and hugging or whatever like that, but it's just she says that she has a daughter with a woman. And apparently Snoop Dogg's grandson asked him, well, how is this possible? Granddaddy Snoop, or, you know, Grandpa Snoop, what happened? How is this possible? He didn't know how to explain it to his grandson, okay? My thing is, I believe as parents, we shouldn't be afraid to tell our kids the truth sometimes. What I mean by that is he don't have to go into detail, but I think sometimes it's a surface level way of saying stuff. Hey, grandson, you ain't gonna understand this, but to answer your question, no, 2 men and 2 women cannot physically have a baby, but they can have a child. It's just gonna be a different way. It's not gonna come out of the stomach. You see what I'm saying? It's, well, not completely. Okay, you're not gonna understand.
See how you confusing yourself? You see how you doing that?
No, but listen.
That's how the kids gonna feel when you talk to them like that. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what? So then, how do they come? Where do they come? How long does it take?" Like,
and this is what you say. This is what you say. You're not gonna understand it till you get older. Don't try to wrap your brain around it right now. It's something that's above. You're not gonna understand it. But for right now, just know 2 men and 2 women cannot physically have a baby. No, there's other ways they have it. And if you want to explain adoption to them, which I don't think you should, because they too young. No, you can't. They can't do it. But it's other ways they can do it.
I just feel like still that's a lot. Like they're not gonna really comprehend what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna be like, oh, okay.
It ain't.
And
for
even
them
if
to
you
comprehend
say,
it.
okay, you'll figure it out when you get older. Okay, but what's still this and that? Or is this just like that? They'll start asking you different scenarios with what you're doing in everyday life. Is this like the movie? Is this like that? Like kids are, you know, they're delicate flowers. I feel like the difference between when Snoop was growing up and us is it wasn't all in our face. You know what I'm saying? To where we had to explain it in depth like that. They put so much in these scenes to the point where you can't just say that and the kids will be okay with it. They still gonna want to know more. It's not gonna just sit with them like, oh, okay, yeah. No, they're gonna want to know.
I think you're going off a personal experience with your son, because
I mean, maybe, but my son is like a lot of other kids out here that have questions and they're curious. And before, your mind could wander without it being, you know, so much to wander to. But nowadays, you know, your imagination go real wild.
But I feel like when you say you're not gonna understand it till you get older, to me, that used to put a button on the conversation when I was a kid. Like, and they were right. I didn't understand a lot of things till I got older. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think it should be in kids' movies just because it wasn't in kids' movies when I was growing up. It wasn't in kids' cartoons when I was growing up. I didn't really understand it or have questions about it till I was probably in middle school, where I started seeing it more because they had, you know, you get in middle school, you start watching certain real life shows. Like we had That's So Raven and, you know, Degrassi and all that stuff was around. So you saw it because it was real life.
Right.
When you in like 3rd or 4th grade, you still watching cartoons.
Yeah. So when you start putting lesbians and all these other type of sexual things in cartoons and kid films and
that's
series,
what I'm saying. It don't need to be in that.
It don't need to. And then when it is, it just creates a more in-depth conversation that not necessarily need to be had right now. Like, who is it? Why should it be up to a movie to decide when I'm gonna give my baby the sex talk?
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Like, why should it have to be that? It shouldn't be that way for any of that. I mean, we're parents, we're grown. We should be able to decide for our kids what we want them to see.
Absolutely. So, and my thing is though, because they are plastering this stuff in your kid's face, hey, well, let me just go ahead and nip this in the butt real quick. Let me tell you the best way I know how to tell you this before you get to asking me stuff that I don't have an answer to. Because I've said that to the kids before. Hey, man, I don't got the answer to that. When I got it, I'll come back and tell you. Hold that thought. I don't know how to explain it to you to where you can make it to you where you can comprehend.
But you know, with that, even with that, that's scary because when you say that, then okay, then let's go to Google. They'll go look it up now. Back then, you could say that and it could wander. Why? Because we didn't have internet. We didn't have anything to go and look and have that access like they have now.
We're talking about kids here, though. We ain't talking about middle schoolers.
Right, but kids are still smart. My son uses Siri, okay? Voice talk. Hey, Siri, look up this and that. They don't have to type nothing in for kids. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference. Their minds can wander all the way to the internet.
I mean,
that's what makes it more awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just goes back to why. Why should we be having these conversations? Why do they feel like this is something that kids need to see? And why, you know what I'm saying, do they feel like they have to plaster it everywhere? Everywhere. Like, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Buzz Lightyear they never had a lesbian. He never had a lesbian in nothing. You didn't even see a lesbian in Toy Story. Like, why y'all want to create a character that didn't need to be there?
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I don't like it in the kids' cartoons. I don't like it in none of that stuff, only because I agree with it's too much. But because they're doing it, I don't want to just be the person out here like, yeah, I don't want to. Okay, hold on. Well, let me get my kid together then. And the best way I know how to do that is explain it to where I'm not confusing him or her, but also I'm not trying to, like you said, send them off to the internet to where they have to go search for an answer. I want to give them something that's, to me, here's what this is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the only way you can do it. That's the only way you should be able to handle it is talking to your child. But with Snoop Dogg and with him, it just comes to why. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Why? What are we taking from this? What are the kids taking from this? Why is it so important now?
Yeah, no, and I'm not mad at Snoop. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't have an answer for it. He kept telling this.
And it's a lot of times where I don't have answers, and it just makes it more confusing. It just makes it more complicated for us. Because like I said.
And it's not that we don't even have answers. It's how do I explain it to you,
exactly.
to a kid?
I got to bring it all the way down. Back then, it was easier to simplify things. We don't have that now. So I just feel like with that going, I feel like we should reconsider what we censor and uncensor for these kids.
I think they should put it back to how it was. When your kid is in middle school, there are going to be programs and TV shows that your kid is going to watch that simulate real life.
Right.
This is when I got to wondering about sexuality and stuff like that, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, because that's what I was watching on TV, and I was going through those same things in real life.
And see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the difference is these kids, they're too grown. You know why they're so grown? Because they have everything in their face at an early age. You know what I'm saying? They already feel like they can talk back or say whatever or do whatever or feel whatever because of what they see on these movies or shows or with social media. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have none of that stuff back then. We didn't have to do none of that stuff. So that's the difference. And I just feel like it's all really tainting our babies' minds. That's why people are able to file lawsuits for playing games like Roblox and Minecraft. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff, we didn't have to deal with that. So I feel like that's the difference. That's the line that I feel like would be nice to have.
Awesome. Yeah.
Again?
Definitely need that. All right, so let us know how you feel about this in the comments below, man. What are your thoughts on Snoop Dogg's opinion of the Buzz Lightyear film and having to teach his grandson at an early age about, sexuality and stuff like that? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. YouTube. All right, it is time for Plot Twist. Got the one on Lori Mack in the building. Lori Mack, what up, though?
What up, though?
All right, so Lil Nas X, man. Everybody saw the viral video of him walking around in the street. Well, he's in his whitey tighties and white boots, then he's stripped butt naked, walking around. I think he was in L.A. like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, he was arrested, and his father said that Lil Nas X was not under the influence of any drugs. It was mainly just stress, okay? And he was he had a breakdown is what the term that they used. Him and his lawyer, like you buying it at all.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's just jump right into it, man. You're not buying the Lil Nas X that he had a mental breakdown. You think he was under influence of drugs?
I feel like he would have been better if he was. I mean, I'm just saying, like, not like, you of course don't do drugs, but I'm
That's
just
a crazy
saying, like,
way to say that. But all right, I feel you.
I feel like what he was doing, I feel like he would, I'm not gonna say get off, but
You feel like it'd made more sense.
it would make more sense for sure, because all the stuff that he was doing, I mean, and then to wrestle down 3 police officers, you mean to tell
Crazy
me he
work.
was not under influence at all?
Yeah, I'm not buying it either. I think he was definitely under the influence of some type of drugs, only because based off what they saying, they said he was had a mental breakdown based off of the fact that he's Lil Nas X, and he was just facing the pressures of being Lil Nas X. Normally, when something like that happens and you have those type of mental breakdowns, you do, unfortunately, do drugs because you're trying to escape those pressures, the thoughts, the feelings, the whatever you're feeling, you trying to escape and just, have that part of your life go away for a minute. And that's usually in the form of drugs or alcohol. So for y'all to say he was walking down the street at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in his drawers and white boots, not on drugs, don't sound right to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. I feel like in situations like this is when you want to help people, you want to get them help, get them into, rehab, whatever they might need. Not lock them up. First thing we always want to do is just lock up our people. Lock up anybody. If he's dealing with something, a mental crisis or anything, this is one of the reasons, one of them times where you should be like, let's see if he really needs some help. Let's see if he's okay. Not, oh, he assaulted 3 officers, let's lock him up for 10 years. Like, what?
Yeah, that ain't never the way to go, man. Locking him up is definitely not gonna help. Get him, like you said, get him some help for sure. I just I don't like that they put this narrative out there that he's just, having a mental breakdown. Like, that's not what a mental breakdown looks like, at least from what I've seen from a mental breakdown. Normally, you just kind of, get away from everything and everybody and seclude yourself. He was out in the public. He was wilding.
Yeah, don't look like he was not under influence. I'm gonna tell you that.
Facts. All right, well, let us know how you feel about this in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the Lil Nas X situation? Do you agree that he was under the influence of drugs, or do you think he was just having a mental breakdown and, you know what I'm saying, it happens, he was just going through it. Let us know how you feel about this in the comments below. But that's all we got for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us both on socials. And until next time, we are out of here, y'all. Peace.